Yeah, episode 7. This is how I'm feeling after episode 6. This is probably the episode that everybody's been waiting for, so let's just go in and put those Vicoustic products on. Come on. Marco! Polo! Doesn't sound like much of a studio, does it? We're about to change that.
Nice and snazzy.
It's only glued together, it's not too bad.
If I took it apart, I should be able to put it back together.
If you start spraying, you're gonna have to spray the whole room to keep the wet edge on. Okay. I can't freaking believe that we're at this point in time, you guys. We're getting rid of this echo today. So, first order of business, this wall is gonna get covered with this beautiful acoustic product. It's called Flat Panel VMT. Apparently it's made out of plastic bottles for the most part, so yay, environment and all that. But primarily it's going to turn this entire wall into a sound absorbing surface. So, it's going to help out quite a bit. Still gotta figure out how I'm gonna cut it exactly, but I did get a nice tool for it. Pretty sure you saw that one coming? Once we're done with that, we're probably gonna go back to this wall over here and get done with those upper corner bass traps. That's gonna be relatively easy. Then we're gonna do the whole ceiling. And that's gonna be a little bit more kind of involved because we have to measure everything out and make sure that everything works together. And once we're done with those, we're gonna move on to these for kind of like assemblies, I guess you could call them. It's like 2 rows in the top and the bottom. They call them cinema premiums. And then in the middle, we're gonna have those Flexi waves. Oof, I love those. And once we're done with those, we're gonna assemble the freestanding bass traps. So that's gonna be basically a cherry on top of a really, really delicious cake. And I have absolutely no idea how this is gonna go, but let's dive right in head first and see how we can cut this concrete pet wool flat panel VMT. Let's go for it. So it's a little heavy. It's really well packaged, I'm gonna give it that. Very, very nice. Let's see how it goes in the wall. Super heavy. The good part is that it's literally the same height as the trim. So this is what it's gonna look like finished, basically, right? It's gonna be flush with the trim. I love the texture of this. It's got this, it's almost like, it's pretty firm. I was surprised actually. I thought it was gonna be much more spongy. I like it. See how the material is kind of woolly. Pretty interesting material actually. Completely recycled. The best part is that it fits right in here. It's almost like someone measured it like that and installed it just the way it should be. I think we're gonna do 3 rows and 3 columns. So it's gonna be like this and they're stacked. Definitely looks like it could handle the acoustic product. It actually smells like floaties. Oh wow, that is sharp. I mean, look at that. This is beautiful. Wow. That should do the trick, I think. That's a problem. So you see when I flip it upside down and cut it that way, I get this, which is super undesirable. But when I cut it face up, it turns out perfect like that. Almost perfect. Well, yeah, it's perfect. I'm gonna tuck it in around the edges to make it have some sort of look, but I think it's gonna look pretty decent, actually. It's not a bad fit. And if you mess up your measurements, you can actually easily get them off, even if it's with a permanent marker. See right there? Made a mistake, marked it a whole inch shorter, and this is denatured alcohol. They also call it bioethanol here in Canada. 5 1/8 plus 3 30-seconds. It's gonna be here, and I'm gonna make the line on the offcut side. So I'm cutting right next to the line. Turned out pretty good. Turned out pretty good. This is generally the experience I had. Just make sure that you keep your eye on the blade and the line, and try to stay straight as much as you can, and let the tool do the rest. It's almost like going in with the grinder. I think we should be okay. There's a little bit of give to it, so it doesn't need to be super exact, but it's better if you have a little bit extra, so it kind of cushions it. Let's try this out. Tight towards the ceiling, but not too bad. Probably gonna shave off a little bit more, like 1/8 of an inch. Yep. Let's put some glue on this and install this sucker. It's nice and creamy though, it's kind of satisfying. And the idea is to apply this glue all around the edges and then a couple of stripes in the middle. That should be more than plenty, I'm gonna say. Don't mess up your freshly painted ceiling. Okay. That is nice right there. To apply a little bit of pressure all across, just for the glue to grab everything. And the manual actually says that you should start like on one side of the wall, then kind of work your way towards the other side. But in this case, we opted to go from the middle outward because we're going lengthwise, and that basically gave us the least amount of like visible seams, right? Because our first seam is here, which is covered by the window anyway. And this is like eye level, right? Most of the time you'll be looking like here. So this is probably going to be hidden by the whole desk, but every case is different. Also, you can tile them differently, like vertically versus horizontally, but I kind of prefer this look the most. That's why we went with this. Sure, I learned my lesson by now. So if you're also putting this VMT panel directly on the wall, you might want to consider using one of these. This is called a electrical box extender. It's a pretty nifty thing. I think people use it when they add wainscoting to the wall, so that way they don't have to move the electrical boxes like I didn't have here. So this is actually a perfect solution for that. I was actually contemplating making like my own, but thankfully I didn't have to because this already exists. So just please make sure to kill the power before you do any of this. Okay, that's awesome. Hey, 1, 2. Do you hear the change in reverb? It's pretty cool. And it's only one wall treated. It's getting pretty late. I'm gonna go get some rest, and tomorrow, first thing in the morning, we're gonna start off with the rest of the ceiling and those bass traps in that corner right over there. It's gonna look sweet. It's gonna sound even better. Okay. We don't have to do this again. You guys have already seen that. But these are the bass traps. They have these fasteners here, which I haven't necessarily figured out just yet. Might want to read the manual. Let's unwrap them. How about that? This is so well made. Beautiful. So if you want to stack them, apparently this goes in here, another one goes on top, and they interlock with this. Ah, so this is our use case right here. So we need to hang them and glue them. Should be straightforward. I gotta find this gauge. I don't think I found that yet. It's sort of a template, I guess you could also call it. And it's used to drill the holes. So for sealing, you hang it on the one side and then the other side you glue. I need to measure out the wall first, the length, then see where we're gonna start and where we're gonna end. So you see here, so there's 8 of them in a row. I guess this line here is right in the center of this door frame. And basically go 4 lengths from there in each direction. Yeah, should be easy enough. All right, let's do it. This is 41, then if we go from there, it's gonna be 10'4". It's a little to the right, so it's not the exact middle of the wall, but we are gonna have that curtain over there, so it kind of compensates for that visually. So we're gonna go from the middle of this door and then go out. So that's our middle of the door right there. And so the tricky thing about this template or gauge, whatever they call them, it doesn't cover the bass trap edge to edge, but it goes from these, they're brad nail holes really. I think if you're installing these yourself, it's important to note. And that is gonna be your 3/8. So when using these templates, make sure that you account for those 3/8 from either side to get your bass trap exactly where you want it and not have to mess with it afterwards. So make sure that your smaller notch right here is facing out from the wall. Grab one of these J profiles, put it square like that, and those are your holes. And do the same on the other side. Template is actually not that bad. I wish they made it edge to edge, but oh well. Okay, there is one thing that Vicoustic doesn't mention in their manual, which is what kind of screws to use. It's crucial that you use flathead screws. So if you happen to be using those J profile, J brackets, whatever, make sure that you use flathead screws, because otherwise the bass trap is just not gonna go on. There's not enough clearance in the groove. Okay, so I'm super happy how these look. They're a little tricky to keep clean as you're handling them, especially because they're all white, right? So just keep that in mind, I guess, if you're getting the white variant. You might have to get in with a wet cloth and clean up those edges, but you know what, let's leave those alone right now and move on to the rest of the ceiling. Now the ceiling is gonna be a mixture of those cinema round premiums and also some diffusers. I think Acoustic calls them multifusers or something like that. Those are gonna go kind of on the sides over here and in the middle, and then all of the rest we're just gonna pack with those cinema round premiums. So let's go unbox those and yeah, just start putting those up. Okay. Cinema round premiums. And apparently they take care of a lot of the mid and high range. Kind of soft, super light. Smells like it's nice, isn't it? It's got this kind of velvety finish to it. It's kind of curved. See the profile? It's well made. It's got this kind of weird flex to it. I'm not sure why. Look, it smells like something. I'm not sure. New plastic? Something like, it's a nice smell. I don't think I've smelled anything like this before. Yeah, it's beautiful. This is the white variant. I've read online and some people say that it's kind of gray, but I don't know. I guess I could kind of see that, but let's see how it blends with the white ceiling. White-ish. I mean, it does the trick as far as I'm concerned. Now, the multifusers or multifusers. Oh wow, let's get this thing on the floor. Interesting. Oh, okay. These don't really do much for absorption, but they're more supposed to scatter the sound evenly across the room. But yeah, these are, it's made out of styrofoam, although it's pretty, it doesn't smell like anything. It's a pretty thick styrofoam though. It's kind of light. These are gonna go in combination with those cinema premiums. Like that, right? They look kind of nice, actually. Okay, I think that should be just about enough to treat the ceiling. The Vicoustic render is not necessarily super clear on where exactly to place these. There's no actual dimensions, you know, this much from the corner or that much from the speaker. It's all kind of, oh, just place these 5 rows like that and that's it. So to make our lives a little easier, we're gonna mirror the entire ceiling on the floor and then place the Vicoustic products exactly where they should be, and then just measure it out, place it on the actual ceiling. So then we can get some measurements and actually mirror them back to the ceiling. So that should be all nice and precise by the time that we're done with it. So okay, looks pretty good. Looks pretty damn good. Except it's on the floor, so that's a bit of a problem. I think I have it exactly where I want it. Everything kind of makes sense. I mean, you can also probably tell how different the sound is just from the sound of my voice, but we haven't even started with the assemblies in the walls. So it's gonna be even better than this. It sounds pretty good. So now it's just a simple matter of getting all of this stuff right on the ceiling. Hey, at least it's all gonna be glued to the wall, so that's easier. I'll be coming down with a COVID or something. Well, that was easier than I thought it was going to be. Well, that's a short day then. All right, coffee time. Might even go to bed early, get some rest. Acoustic studio. Studio acoustic studio. Drywall, speakers, ceiling, speakers, drywall, walls, mudwork, drywall, mudwork, new bed, speakers, ceiling, speakers. Holy shit, man. Thank God that was just a dream. That sucks. Freaking nightmares and shit. Dude, thank God this is all still here. It's starting to get to my head, man. Sometimes I can't even tell what's real and what's not. Damn. Okay. So, by my calculations, we're gonna need 20 more of the cinema premiums and like 1,000,000 of those little fingers. I think they're called Flexi waves. I think they're in these small, but really heavy boxes. Flexi Wave Ultra. See, this is the kind of the half size. They also come with these brackets. So from what I understand, these take care of all the mid-range and kind of towards the mid to, oh, that is nice. I like that. This is the side of it, and this is the face. From what I understood from that 3D render, they all go intertwined, just like a big row of that. Cool. It's nice and matte. I like the color, actually. From the specs, it seems like it's pretty powerful in absorbing mid to low range frequencies. It's like a mini bass trap, basically, right? Because this is all full of sound absorbing material, and this is like a reflective surface, so that helps with diffusion as well. So you see they got 2 versions of that, and then you can make all sorts of different arrays. And apparently you're supposed to create these almost like rails and just slide all of them on top of each other. It's kind of interesting. It's pretty cool. And of course we got a whole bunch of them. All right, let's get these installed. This is a special feature of this studio. We're turning one of these into a switch. It's just a really awkwardly positioned switch for our patio lights, and we got really lucky. So it's also a smart switch, so I can do it with my phone as well, but this is, I think it's pretty neat. I did leave a little gap here for some LED strips in the future, but we're gonna install that at a later date. But yeah, honestly, I'm still mesmerized. Like every time that I see it, I'm like, whoa! Like it's not a 3D render anymore. It's like actually like our studio. So it's amazing. Okay. So in these boxes are the 4 VicTotems, which are Vicoustic's freestanding bass traps. They're not tethered, and they are the last piece of the puzzle, save for the curtains, but that's not too big of a deal. I'm a little tired. I just got all these boxes up from the dark stage, but I'm eager to finish this. So let's unbox a couple of these. Let me show you what's inside, and we'll get on to finishing this thing up. I remember seeing these for the first time at NAMM 2019, I think. I'm pretty sure these are what made me choose Vicoustic. That and probably this, flat panels, that's next level. And I did have to make a special order because they usually come as a 3-stack, and because of the whole configuration and the height of the room, I wanted a 4-stack. So I'm pretty stoked. Let's open these bad boys up and see what's inside. Can't wait to finish this room. This has been way too long. Oh yeah. Look at that. That's nice. Kind of sort of like that. Man, this packaging is like something else. Alright. That is nice. So, and there's 2 sides to them, right? So you can turn them whichever way you want or prefer sound-wise. This is the more rigid side. It serves more for reflection and diffusion. And if you want to absorb more of the sound, then you turn this side. This is soft. It's just beautiful, beautiful work. And they stand up on these, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the base. So the idea, I think, is to, so you put this right there. Let's put this on the floor. Like that. Putting my gloves on this time. I'll learn from my mistakes. Better save myself some work this way. Oh, so this should probably be the small one. Wait, hold that thought. It's not fit. Cool. So that's one. I got 3 more. These are so well made. Like I really, especially since the last episode, I really started to appreciate good carpentry. I mean, this is just like the finish is so nice. It's nice and clean, and this chrome is actually kind of cool. Yep. And I think in the render, let me see, they wanted it like this, turned this way for the third one. Yeah, nice. There we go. And so this is what I mean by packaging. This is the type of abuse that you would get in any international shipment. That this is not uncommon whatsoever, and the product itself is absolutely intact. Look at that. Beautiful. Long one. Okay. All right. There it is. And there's the whole thing. Love it. Love it. Fantastic look. Fantastic. So it's that times 4. A little persuasion never hurt anybody. That looks absolutely amazing. I'm like, wow. Super, 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 super happy. Ridiculous. Look at that. Is that colossal? In their first draft, they wanted to include the regular kind of plain white bass traps, and I was like, you know what? I remember that thing that I saw. There was like a freestanding bass trap back then at NAMM. They're like, oh, you mean the VicTotems? I'm like, yeah. And they were like, yeah, the performance is slightly inferior to the super bass extreme ultra or whatever they call it, but it's not too bad, they said. So I was like, okay, if there's any issues, we're just gonna add some more. I love the way these look, and everything is great. I mean, the ceiling is like, I mean, get out of here. The boxes are a nice touch. Gonna have to clean that up. I can't believe that we got to this point. Amazing. Super, super happy. And as you can hear, we successfully got rid of the stupid echo. I was kind of getting tired of it myself, but I'm sure it wasn't great for you guys either to hear me talking in that super echoey room. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm speechless, really. Next episode, we're going to wrap this whole thing up. I'm going to finish this video here, get the new desk installed. I have a really nice surprise for you guys in that department. Get the LEDs going, get the, all the cabling and stuff, and we are going to call it done. You know how it is with these things. These are never, like, actually done, but at least I'm going to, move in. I think I've occupied Ivana's office for far too long at this point. Yeah, we did say a month or two, didn't we? I think it's for only like a month or so. Yeah, kind of tend to do that. And this is actually going to be my first studio in a long while that I'm super, super happy with acoustically. Since I moved to the US, I haven't really worked in a proper studio. It's always been apartments, or you kind of have to rent something out, or can't wait to move in and get some music going. Oh yeah, that's right, I have a solo record finished. Right. Remember that? Don't you guys worry, it's coming out. I'm working on it. But first things first, we got to get the space sorted and everything looking and sounding beautiful, and as it should, so we can start making some good stuff here. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. You have no idea how much. A gigantic thank you to Vicoustic and Focal Name North America for making all of this happen and working with me on all this. If any of you guys are looking into getting any of these products, absolutely hit them up. They're super nice people. They'll make anything you want happen pretty much. And yeah, I could not recommend them more. This is absolutely beautiful. And if you're just looking at this randomly and happen to be curious as to how the whole project turned out at the end, I'll put a card up here somewhere once I release that video. It shouldn't be too long, it's just a couple more things. But anyway, I'm gonna start getting these boxes out of my way so I can start working on the next episode. But in the meanwhile, make sure you guys hit the like button and all that good stuff. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and all that YouTube-y, you know, YouTube-y stuff. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. All right? Ciao. I want to try, I have a different technique for doing this. Let me see if this works. Let me see. It actually worked. It looks pretty good.